Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're working on, what do we got here? MacBook Pro A1398. Nice little 15-inch broken screen. This is a 2015. These screens have gotten ridiculously expensive. I guess the supply is pretty low out there. But the people that have these laptops love them to death. And, you know, they like their laptop, we're going to fix it. So this baby looks pretty nice, pretty clean inside. Give it a little blow dry. Nice and clean. So we're going to start off. That battery disconnected. That battery is in there. I'm going to put a little piece of tape in between here. So the next thing you know, you'll flip the unit around and that's going to pop back in there. Even though this tab is pretty darn hard. But let's do that. Leave one screw in there. Actually, you can't leave that screw in there because that's part of this cable. So just leave one screw in there to hold it so you can open it up. So these screen replacements are pretty darn easy compared to the newer ones. Well, not that the newer ones are harder, but there's just more sensitivity, more screws, more chances of messing up. So we should be good to go with this. And to get these out, they have to be open. Pretty sure it's all the way like that. Not too magnetic, these screws. I got a magnet here. That one's up. And that one's up. You can see this thing got hit pretty hard right there. So on your new screen, you want to take a look at, you know, the angle of the old hinges that you took out and get these open to the same angle, pretty much. That should do it. Let's see. We're there. Find out. There you go. Get your, magnetize your screwdriver a little better. Give yourself a little wiggle room. Yeah, you tighten one end too tight, you're not going to get the other one in. So you want to get that in, get that one in, let them find their spot. Get a second one in. Get this on. Now they're not tight 100%, but snug enough to make sure that it's fairly aligned. So this, sometimes, well, I mean, at least this one here, it got hit so hard that if you look at this base right here, how indented it got. So I'm surprised this thing is really, you know, working so well. But you could have a base that's bent. This doesn't really look that bent, but you're getting a lot of pressure trying to keep this closed. So you know, this thing just wants to pop open. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is loosen these up and see if we can get a little better. Let it readjust with it closed to see if we can get a little bit better closing on it. You know. So now that it's closed in place, let's move it open and close a little bit. definitely much better. There's one right there. Both of them ones there. And normally, all our LCDs, we generally try to test them before, fully putting them on. These kind of difficult to test. They could be tested before putting it on, but the labor putting it on is minimal. The risk of testing it outside, you could run into a problem with it. So we're just gonna install the whole thing and kind of go with it. Get those cables in there. Come on. You want to make sure you get them in there right, and just do them a little wiggle. You don't want them to pop off. And here, this thing is like right up on this heat pipe. We can swing it in a little bit here. Right there. Looks pretty decent. We're going to test it out here. We'll probably put some double-sided tape on there and get that going. Still got these other little clips, but let's give it a, let's crank it up. Exactly. Actually, still got a little pressure popping up here. Those hinges are probably just really tight. So, not sure if we got battery, but let's find out. No battery. and we're looking good. Prior to putting it on, I had already inspected the part. You want to inspect the part outside first. Make sure it doesn't have any scuffs or any problems. And then you go through the trouble putting it on. So as soon as the part comes in, the first thing we do is just verify a physical check on it. It's got like a little tiny scratch right there. But this was a part that we purchased with a description of 98% new, which is, you know, kind of strange. How can it be 98% new? So that just means that there could be some little, it's a new part, but it could be a small little scratch or something. It probably is that right there. You're not going to see that on the camera. It's like a little bump right there on this clutch cover. Yeah. Which kind of odd that they didn't change that. Yeah, it's a little bump there. So we'll still go through the testing the screen colors, the webcam, etc. But that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. So that's a LCD replacement on a, what did we say this thing was, a 1398, MacBook Pro 1398. That's what's going on here today at PC 911.